very much for coming tonight. I'm going to go through, learn how to do a killer AdWords marketing campaign for a startup. What we're going to do is a little bit about me. I've been doing AdWords marketing for 15 years. About 2 years after it came out, I built my first campaign for a company that I started. And once I started doing that, some of my buddies that own businesses or work for companies like, I guess I'm supposed to be doing that. It's the latest, greatest thing. Would you do it for my company as well? So I started back then, and since then, I've done 25 or so different industry verticals, both business to business and business to consumer. And I also work with nonprofits and work with clients that are trying to do services or sell services as well as sell products. I am Google AdWords certified, so if at the end of this, you guys want to dive into a deeper view of exactly what Google is all about, and if maybe you're here to get certified or build a campaign for your own company, you can just do Google AdWords certification. You go through this program that Google offers for free, you take an exam at the end of it, and you're Google AdWords certified for 1 year. You have to take the test every year to get renewed. It's an awesome way to get like a complete overview and a basic foundation of what it takes to build a campaign. And if you want to reach me, Todd_Nevins at Twitter. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to go through Google AdWords on a real company with this guy right here. Dave Perez is a founder of Lumen Insurance. And we're going to go through the challenges that we went through together about 6 months ago when we first set up his campaign. It's a local insurance company with a little bit of a twist as far as the unique market that he serves. And then at the end, I'm going to do a live, I'm going to create a campaign live for Galvanize's data science program. So that's what's going to happen. For the basics, this is Google AdWords. When you do a search, I did a basic search, I need a vinyl banner for my startup. This is AdWords search, pay-per-click. You'll know by the little ad on the side. Depending upon what kind of search you do, you also have some pictures over here. These are also served out of AdWords. This is a shopping campaign in AdWords. This is a search campaign in AdWords. This is where AdWords makes all the money. Search campaign. So every time somebody clicks on one of those ads, that company pays Google. Also, in some search results, you may see this. This does not come from AdWords. This comes from Google My Business. If somebody clicks on one of these or calls the number, it is free. So it's served up in your Google My Business account. And to get on this map, you actually have to put in your address. They mail you a postcard to that address to verify you're actually at that address. And then once you put in the code that's on the postcard, then they verify your address and you're on the map. And the final step, organic results. So these 5 is what is referred to as search engine optimization, SEO, and that's free. Look at these 5. 3 of them dated June 30th, 2015, 2017, and 2013. These are blog articles. So out of the top 5 results, 3 of them are blog articles. So Google over the last couple of years has put a huge importance organically on people putting out content. And this is proof. This one's dated 5 years ago, 2013, and is still coming up in 5th place because of a blog article. So an organic campaign and an organic strategy is super duper long term. Consistent quality content to the audience that you're trying to reach. When you get the click, when you get the organic rankings, it's free. So we're going back to getting your ad here. I need a vinyl banner. Number 1 is Vistaprint. And so you hear all the acronyms and all this stuff. Here's what it is. Google AdWords is also pay-per-click, PPC, cost per click, CPC, search engine marketing, all the same. All the same thing. So what we're going to do is look at the basics. You're trying to reach the right person with the correct message for them to click, and then you provide them what they are looking for. So that is the basics: reach, relevance, and results. So reaching the right people. We're diving into Lumen Insurance. Dave offers commercial insurance to emerging tech companies in Austin, Texas. So that's all encompassing. That's what he does. If somebody's in Dallas, if somebody's in Tulsa, not a prospect. Relevance, digging deeper, board leadership, and the types of insurance. Here's the kicker. Because you think of insurance, it's auto, health, dental, all the things, but he does commercial insurance. Take it a step further, directors and officers insurance, errors and omissions, cybersecurity, P-man, general liability. So really, really niche out of all these different insurance searches. Challenge. So the basics of an AdWords marketing campaign literally is what words are my potential clients using to find me? When do I want to get my ad in front of a person and when do I don't? So, Lumen Insurance. Do I need insurance for my startup? This is Dave's ad. This takes up a lot of real estate. We've got his title, we've got his URL, his phone number, the basic description. We've got call-outs, the address right here, and I actually did this search during the day, so we were open, which is good. We've got a couple of call-outs. So, do I need insurance for my startup is a super relevant search for Dave's business. What isn't relevant is the second place ad. $29 cheap auto insurance. So, USAutoInsuranceNow.com also came up in this search because of the word insurance. The problem is, obviously, I'm not looking for cheap auto insurance, but if you serve this ad up to 10,000 people, a certain number of them are going to click on that just out of just a mistake, and it's wasting their money. There is one simple little move that this company could have used to not show up in the search result. Does anybody know what that is?
Negative words.
Negative word. Negative startup would have prohibited this ad from coming up because they're not selling to startups. They're selling auto insurance. So this company should absolutely have negative startup, literally negative startup as a negative keyword in their campaign so their ad does not come up. And we're going to get into negatives here in a second. So, in the auto insurance industry, car insurance, homeowners insurance, the average cost per click, if somebody clicks on an ad that someone does a search for, I need car insurance for my Nissan Altima, you're going to see 3 ads. The average click is $23 just for that click. That's a lot of money, and that's a big mistake to have made to have a click that is invalid. $23 for a click is, it's on the high end, but not if you're in a personal injury attorney, it'd be $50 or $60. But you can also be spending 10 or 25 cents depending upon how competitive your niche is. So Dave and I don't want to spend $23 for a click. So Dave definitely doesn't want to spend $23. So what we do is we figure out the keywords that we want to go after. What searches are people performing when we want our ad to come up? Directors and officers insurance, cyber liability, errors and omissions. These are the ones that we're going after, so that's offense. Defense are the negatives. So auto, car, dental, homeowners, renters, all of the different potential insurance searches we do not want to come up. Logical question, if we put in directors and officers insurance into Google AdWords, doesn't that tell AdWords that we only want to come up for directors and officers insurance? Yes, but to a point. They take liberties in using their algorithm to serve up ads even to similar search results. So we take control and make sure that our ad does not come up if the person is using a search query that contains any of these keywords and a lot more, but these are the big ones. The result was that we get a heck of a lot more targeted audience, a lot more relevant clicks. That means quality conversions are way up, and our cost is $6.76 versus $23. Huge difference. All right, the risk of getting granular. I'm going to get granular. So, let's say we have 4 advertisers. Like, how much does my click cost? Is the question. How much does it cost per click? It's an auction, and it depends on what other people are willing to bid for that same click, and a couple of other factors. So this scenario, someone is willing to bid $4, the next person $3, $2, and $1. Doesn't just go to the highest bidder, because this highest bidder is low quality. How do they determine quality? Is if somebody clicks on your ad and lands on your landing page and bails, and 95% of those people bail, that information comes back into AdWords. Google knows everything, so they send that back into AdWords. It's a poor user experience. We sent 95 people to your website, and or 100 people to your website, 95 of them bailed within 2 seconds, which means we're serving the ads to the wrong people. So even though that person's willing to bid $4, it's dropping it down. The formats impact is what I mentioned earlier when we had Dave's phone number and address and hours. We blew out that format. So this person has no format. So even though they're willing to spend $4, their ad rank is 5, which means they're not going to be served. The next person down, high quality, low format, ad rank 15. This is the one that's going to be served first. The one that's willing to bid $2, not the person that's willing to bid $4. And so what this person will pay is not $2 for that particular click at that real time. They will pay $1. As proof, we saw that Dave is paying on average $6.76 per click. His bid is $8. So we're working on quality and the formats to compete against companies that are willing to pay more with adding in quality, and Google is giving us a better ad quality, which means we're ranked higher than some of the other companies that aren't willing to pay, are willing to pay more.
Can you explain
Makes
formats
sense.
impact again?
Yep, formats impact is the ad extension. So on his ad, this is the format. So we've got the phone number, we've got call outs, we've got the address, we've got the hours of operation, and we have site links. And those are all considered ad extensions. And so this is the format. This is absolutely the right way to have it. It adds to the ad quality.
And everybody can do that no matter what you're paying. You can increase the ad.
Yeah, it doesn't add to any, the click is the same, and actually the more you have here, your average cost per click is going to go down because they're going to reward you for having more content up here, giving more information to the person that's doing the search. Eric.
The quality score is based on the entire campaign or that specific ad, and it doesn't matter what keyword resulted in it?
It's as granular as the keyword in the ad, and if you look up at a campaign, it will show you specific keywords that are higher quality score and lower quality score, and it's a quality score of 1 to 10, and any quality score that is 3, 2, or 1 is considered very low. You got a problem, make a change, pause the keyword, because it's actually penalizing the other keywords that are above it because of the low quality score in that particular ad group. So yeah, it gets you down to not only, it's not at the counter campaign level, it's at the keyword level. And
Is it, when you talk about the quality of the format, is that when you submit the ad, or is that based on your website structure?
both. It's based on the structure of the ad, ongoing performance of that ad and how it's performing and how people are reacting to it, your click-through rate, they serve it up 100 times, how many times is it clicked on, and then also not the infrastructure of your website, but the user experience on your website once they deliver somebody to it. So if people go to your the landing page, and then they click on a second page, and then they fill out a form, and then they convert, that's a positive user experience. And so Google takes that information, sends it back to AdWords, and it's upping the quality score of that keyword that person clicked through because it was a successful visit. And it's all going on in real time. And, yeah. So, the last part is once we deliver them to the landing page, what do we want them to do? We want them to convert in one way or another. We don't just want them to view your information and bail. We want something to happen. So the final part, the results, and that is the landing page. So you optimize for the conversion. So you're thinking, what do I want? Do I want them to live chat? Do I want them to pick up the phone call? Do they want to sign up for free, sell a product, buy something, download something? And we're going to get deep into this in Galvanize. It's a really good example of how Galvanize is taking somebody that's just interested in the data science program and giving them a ton of opportunities to actually convert and provide information to then come back into Galvanize with a phone number and an email and a name for them to follow up. So How much should I spend on AdWords? The number one question. What should my budget be? Right? That's the number one question. And the answer is, it completely and totally depends. It really comes down to testing it. Google AdWords it's Google AdWords /keyword-planner. And you can come up with, let's say, 25 of the keywords that you think your customers or potential customers are going to type in to find you. Go to the keyword planner, put those in, and it will tell you this is going to range from $1.50 to $2.25, and then you extrapolate that out. Here's how much you should spend each month. It'll give you a very basic estimate and a very basic idea. There are a lot of different variables that will determine if your ad shows, if your ad's going to get clicked on. My suggestion is if you create a quality campaign going after the right audience and blocking the one that you don't, and then you run a budget that you're comfortable with. The way AdWords works is you set a daily budget, and how much you're going to spend each month is that daily budget multiplied times 30.4, which is the average number of days in a month. So your daily budget, 30.4. But you set your daily budget, you run it in 7 days, and nothing is going to change real information. And at that point, you run your campaign, and you make a determination, is it working or not. A couple of things that I didn't add in here. When I look at a campaign for the very first time, and if you want to think of like a basic structure, like I'm saying, like ads and keywords and ad groups and campaigns, a campaign is like a book. The ad groups are the chapters, and the keywords and the ads are the words in the chapters. Basic way to understand a campaign. So when you create your campaign, you run it for 7 days. If it's a search campaign, the first thing I look at is the click-through rate. If I ran this campaign for a week and I had 1,000 impressions, so an ad impression, my ads were shown to 1,000 people. How many of those people clicked on it? If it's above 2%, it's pretty good. If it's above 3 or 4%, it's really, really good. And if it's below 2 and even below 1%, bad. So what do you do at that point? That means that you're serving your ads up to the wrong audience. But you can look, and you may not be serving your ads up to an entirely wrong audience. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 keywords that are ruining it. And so it's serving up to, you accidentally put in, don't bid on just insurance, but you put in something very general, and your ads are showing too many times to the wrong audience. So.
Yeah, don't put just insurance, because that one is $56 per click.
Yeah.
At least at the time.
Yeah. Don't bid on the word
insurance.
insurance.
Mistakes whenever the time is perfect.
Don't bid on insurance. All right, so give me questions, please. Yep. Yes?
I was talking to another guy who does Google SEO, and they recommended separating text-based search campaigns in a different ad group as photo generated with dynamic ones.
Yes, and that's correct. So we are looking at a search campaign that is, and these are expanded text ads. These are not what are considered image or display ads. Text ads in a search campaign come up when people are on Google or on a Google search partner looking for something. So they're in the funnel, they're in the sales funnel. Display ads, or the image ads, are served up on Forbes and CNN and blogs and the companies that are running AdSense to try to make money off of their traffic. They're serving up display ads or image ads on those websites. And that's more of a branding kind of a move with the display. Your click-through rate is going to be super low on display advertising. Under 1% is not a problem at all. Display advertising, you can actually go in and you can control where your ads are being served. You don't want them on Forbes because they may be health related or whatever it is. So your control in the display campaign is more placements, which is where your ads are placed. On the search campaign, it is the keywords that people are searching for. And the default, unfortunately, when you're setting up a new campaign on Google, it's Google Search and Display Network, so it defaults you into having both, and remove that. Remove display completely. You just want search to get started, and then you'll be able to figure out what's going on and make better decisions.
So
Moby.
when you do Facebook ads or something, the game is how creative are you when you're doing video, right? In
Yes.
this, is there a lot of room to be creative, or is it mostly just pick the right audience and the right keywords?
The creativity comes from the text in the ad, and so it's instead of blurting out statements, you're trying to draw on emotion, and like the result of if you will protect your startup, you will protect yourself from being sued, like that's hurts versus D&O insurance. So I mean the creative part is the ad copy.
Appeal to emotion.
Appeal to the emotion, exactly. Yes.
I might have missed it, but they invited me from Dollar Institute.
I'm glad you're here. Good.
So we're rebranding our website, the landing page. We're A/B testing content.
Okay.
So we're doing the optimization on the ads. How do we go ahead and compare the clicks that we get from option A versus option B relative to the campaign itself? We're trying to figure out content.
Okay. I think I understand your question. I think I've got the answer.
Okay.
Hope I got the answer. So when do you already have an AdWords campaign running right now?
We turned it off for now.
Okay. If you were to run your campaign, let's say you set up your campaign and you run it for a period of time, but you're like, I want to try a different bid strategy. Not talking about just A/B testing ads or keywords. You do that within your existing campaign. But if you want to test something big, like bid strategy, and bid strategies also, there's about 7 different bid strategies, whether I want to pay per click or I want to pay per conversion or I want to give Google more control and they maximize my campaign for conversions. Google has what is called, literally it's called an experiment. And you set up an experiment and you have your main campaign that may be under one bid strategy, and you set up an experiment and you tell Google the percentage of your total budget goes to your main campaign or your experiment campaign. 50-50 is easy, then it's apples to apples. And you run that. Google's recommendation is that you don't touch it for either one of them for 30 days. Because if you make a change in one, you've messed up the experiment if you haven't made the change in the other, and they're using behind the scenes stuff. You created the experiment to allow them to truly give you the information which one is better. Don't touch anything. It's A/B testing at its finest, but it does require you to run it for 30 days. And it actually, to help them make the right decisions, I would recommend running your core campaign for 2 or 3 months. Then you create an experiment with a drastic difference. And the main difference and the reason why you would create an experiment would be a bid strategy change. So, Lynn.
What is your typical client spend on just an average on a monthly basis?
Anywhere from $2,500 to $35,000.
Part 2 of that question. Whether I'm going to hire you or I'm going to have somebody do it for me to like you or someone like to learn from you.
Okay.
Because I'm going to focus on the content. I'm definitely not going to do this stuff. So
Okay.
To build up what Logan said, what do you really want to focus on from a copy perspective? Looking at, so I've got my target audience identified.
Okay.
The product, the online course, everything. I've got that nailed. So it sounds like I need to parlay that into copy that can then be shared with you to make sure to build a great campaign.
To come up with you mean the ad copy or the copy on your landing page?
Both. So I'm trying to figure out where I should focus on so that I can help you or whoever.
Start at the end where the person is landing. Start there. If you want to spend money on AdWords, first focus on the experience on your website. Start there, the ad copy and then the conversion. And Galvanize has a good landing page with a bunch of opportunities to convert. So they've spent their money on the landing page first and all of the emotional things on a website and all that, but it's a landing page experience, desktop and mobile, of course. And then that's where you should start first. And then what I would do is I would, knowing how much you would have spent, the time that you would have spent on the landing page, I'm taking the content that's on the landing page and creating the ad copy off of that. Because I want a consistent experience. Drop in popcorn in the forest. Like, I want consistent experience. I'm searching for this. That ad says exactly what I want. Click. Holy moly. This landing page also says exactly what I want. I'm going to convert because I want more. Like, it's a consistent step. And so website first, landing page first. So
Do we have time for one more question?
of course.
Okay, so we started with the landing. We're just playing off questions now. So if I'm going to test my landing page, right? And I have money to market to 10,000 people. It's a 2% click-through rate. I get 2,000 people. Is that enough to test that landing page?
10,000, 2%.
200, sorry, yeah. I did not do well in calculus. All right.
Basic.
I don't have enough information to answer that decision, but I would go into the thousands, not 200. 200 is not that many.
Yeah, so just
But
spend more money to test.
2,000, 5,000 people on your website. I mean, it comes back, is it going to cost you $20,000 to get those 5,000 people to your website? You know, that's a lot of money to spend to gain data on 5,000 people. But if you have 1,000 to 2,000 people, that's going to give you a pretty good idea. And if I'm running a campaign, I'm not waiting a month and then like log back in. What happened? I'm there the next day, the first day, the second day, the third day, because when real data is coming in, I might catch something like, whoa, that's a keyword that I didn't expect. I need to build out around that particular keyword, or break out these 3 keywords into their own ad group and then really build out that ad group with more keywords and more ad copy, because man, people are really interested in the D&O insurance, and that's, I didn't know that until the data was coming in. So you don't just build it and spend money for 30 days and then make decisions. You're making light touches along the way. So I don't know if I answered your question or not, but ask me another one later. Yes, sir.
Landing pages.
Yes.
Create a what's called micro commitment. Get the email page separate from the actual website content, or just a front page for search.
No, landing page that speaks directly to what they are searching for. Galvanize has a great example of it speaks to data science. They also do full stack development. They also do co-working. None of that on the landing page for data science. I search for data science. I don't care about co-working. I've already told you that. I already told you what I'm looking for. So serve up to me what I'm looking for. Yes?
Yeah, so in order to convert this, obviously some companies may want a different format, right? If you want B2B, maybe you want someone to go chat or make a phone call. Maybe if you're B2C, you want them to send up your newsletter.
Yep.
I'm just kind of curious between those 2 types of businesses, depending on what kind of conversion that they want ideally, what are some strategies you see are pretty effective for each of those types of different conversions?
And also it would determine if it's B2C, they lean more towards being on a mobile device.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus
right.
business to business, they would be on a desktop. You've got more of their attention if they're on a laptop versus a mobile device. And so there's a lot behind that. But normally if you're selling to a consumer, it also depends on what you're selling, service, product, whatever it may be. But if you're selling to consumers, typically you're going to have more of a mobile experience. So then you got to make a determination. Be bold, be short, few words, big bold conversion buttons, and speak to your consumer. But on a desktop, you've got a little bit more of their attention. And there are different strategies around what you're trying to get them to do. Galvanize, keep bringing that up, but Galvanize has a, let's start at the end, Lynn. Galvanize is the data science, learn data science. They've got Message Center right now. It's actually live chat normally during the day. You can start your application. They're appealing to consumers. So start your application, and it's like, this is pretty obvious. That's blatantly obvious. And so it's, and that orange is their color. So that's a great landing page, and we're going to get into it in a second. They've got 10 different opportunities for somebody to convert on the one single landing page, which is.
For Google AdWords, is it like Facebook where you have to wait until the ad is approved?
Yes.
So as far as policies go, is there anything we should watch out for when you're putting out your first AdWords campaign? Absolutely.
So this ad and any of these ads, there is a window of approval. It goes into under review, and it may be under review for 20 minutes, 10 minutes. It's not a long period of time. You can't have multiple all caps, buy now, click here, those kinds of things, using weird capitalization and underscores or anything like that. It has to be written in normal English. You can put it as a title, capitalizing the letters at the beginning of each word, but you can't do anything funky or it will get disproved. You also cannot use exclamation points. What you can use, and this jumps out, I didn't use this as an example, quotes. Like quotation marks is a testimonial, kind of an impression when somebody reads that, like, oh, Dave's customer loves Dave. Quotes. So using quotations, you could put in here that it pops out. Quotes do pop out at you, and those do pass editorial. So
Does video play an impact on this?
you can do YouTube through the AdWords interface. You do create video ads that go on YouTube. So yes, and it is all through the AdWords system that like the little bars across the bottom of YouTube videos. That's an AdWords.
It has no impact on the text.
No.
So that's specific to AdWords as well. You can search, or you can do something YouTube specific.
Yep. All right, you guys ready for a live? Any other questions? Sorry. Okay.
How do you
Yes.
analyze a campaign? So if you're going through and checking back day 2, day 3, day 4, click-through rate is one thing.
Big one.
How do you analyze the keywords?
If you see a bunch of, if you see, let's say you've got 100 keywords in your campaign, and Steve and I are working on a couple of campaigns right now. If you've got 100 keywords in a campaign, but 5 of them are driving over 50% of the spend, there might be a problem. Like, why are 5 out of 100 pulling over half of the spend? You would first want to make sure, are those 5 relevant? Like, am I sure about those 5? Or are 2 of them kind of outliers that I put in there just for the heck of it? And if they are they converting or are they not? You really are tracking the conversions. What are they doing once they land on your page? You want to engage them in chat, phone call, email, whatever, download, whatever it is. So out of all that, the money that was spent on those 5, did 3 of them convert and 2 of them didn't? What are those 2 keywords? Are they really core into the bullseye of the audience that I'm trying to target?
And if they are, you talked about breaking, like if one keyword is like performing really well and it's relevant, then you break it up into more ad groups?
Yes. So the rule of thumb with ad groups, so again, the book is the campaign, chapters are the ad groups, keywords and ads in each chapter. The logic behind having an ad group that is categorical, we have ad groups broken out into cyber liability is one ad group in a campaign that has 9 or 10 ad groups. Cyber liability, we go after all of the cyber liability keywords. So what happens, we're only serving up ad copy that speaks to cyber liability. We're dropping them on a page that speaks to cyber liability. So if you see those 5 keywords, maybe they're close, but maybe they're a little bit different. They're slightly different. Whatever kind of services that you're offering, they're just slightly different. You would pull the 2 keywords potentially out of that one ad group and create a new one and have the ad copy just really drill in and tailor to exactly what they're looking for. If I take over a campaign and it has 5 ad groups today, after 6 months it may have 25 or 30, but the data is going to tell me what to do with that information. So you start at the end, conversion, and who's converting and who isn't.
And in terms of conversion, is Google automatically tracking conversion actions? Because I thought that was something that you had to set up and like embed code on your website in order to track conversions.
Yes. Yes. No, they are not automatically tracking that. And yes, you have to embed code on your website. Depending upon the kind of website you have, whether it's a WordPress or Wix or whatever it is, you go in and what is called, you use the word conversion action. That's what it is. And so you would create a conversion action for somebody that put in message center. It's okay. We'll get you there. So somebody that completes an application may go to a go to a page, fill out the form, and then they land on what is considered a thank you page. You completed the information, thank you. On that thank you page is code that you've generated from the your AdWords campaign, your AdWords account. The code is on the thank you page, and it sends that information back into your AdWords account. And you know the ad group that it came out of, the keyword that it generated, the keyword that generated that conversion, the ad that generated that conversion, it's all fed back. How much did that conversion cost you? that's the real number. And then what is the value of that conversion? And so yeah, it's not automatic, but the tracking code you got to put in. So what we're going to do is, got a little cheat sheet here. These are the keywords that we're going after. Here's the headline of the ad, headline number 2, path, and the description on the ad. This is the landing page for Galvanize. So here are the potential conversions. This default it comes up. There's potential conversion number 1, number 2, number 3. Minimize this. Given more info. 4 and 5. We can start the application right there.
Wow.
This is a cool pop-up. Tells me exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to give you my contact info, then I'm going to do a course preference, background, about me in the survey. But to capture my information, it's just my first name, my last name, and an email. And it defaults to Austin, Texas, because I'm on the Austin, Texas landing page. This is an awesome conversion form. Even if I bail on number 2, doesn't matter. I've already given my first and last name and email to be followed up on. I lost count. Another, what is it?
That's 6 right
6.
there.
Two good-looking dudes.
7 up there.
Ryan and Scott. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, and the phone number. 10. That's a pretty good landing page. So what we're going to do is that we're going to drive traffic that converts leads on that landing page. And we want to get them to this website, that URL. So we go here, put in the URL, continue. We're going to name it GVIS, Data Science, 1. Okay, include search partners. This would just be your ads are showing on only the Google Search Network. Search partners are partner websites that are using the Google search bar to serve up results on their websites. Choose search partners. This is the display network. Someone brought up on CNN for choose no initially. We do not want it in the United States. We want to enter our own location. You can do this by city, by metro, by zip code, by radius from Galvanize, tons of different ways to target your customers. This is what makes AdWords so powerful. Because if somebody's looking for a data science program in Jacksonville, Florida, the chances of them converting and moving to Austin and coming to the, I mean, it's not going to happen. We want people that are in Austin, Metro, and San Antonio. And you can look here, see your geographic area. That looks pretty good. That's the target audience. So Galvanize wants to spend money on anyone looking for a data science program that's in this area. Maybe the competition is too heavy over in Houston. People aren't going to drive 3 hours. That's a decision that Galvanize has to make. But they're willing to spend money on anybody that's looking for a data science program in this geographic area.
Can you target it so it's like downtown Austin?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Dude, you can do 78701.
Nice.
78701.
Bam.
You want to do it? Here's your bidding strategy. You asked about the experiment. These are the different types of bidding strategies. We're going to go, we want conversions. So we're going to go to, let Google do the work, maximize conversion number. But from here, we're going to go and create an ad group. This ad group is going to be titled Data Science. And the keywords in the ad group are right here. Copy these.
So for these keywords, are you doing searches? Are you using like some SEO thing to figure out?
The keyword planner.
Okay.
The keyword, Google keyword planner. So you come up with your basic like 5, and you can go to the keyword, or 50, however many you want. But the ones that you know, I want to be in front of these people.
Okay.
And you can go to the keyword planner and it will provide more keywords that you should consider or not consider. Don't just take them all like Google knows everything, let's do that. But use your judgment and filter out the ones that are maybe a little bit too outside the bullseye, and the keyword planner will give you that information. So these are the keywords that we're going after. And next is the ad. So here's exactly how the ad looks. The first step is the URL. Here. So here's the headline. It does allow for, so what I jumped over this. The offense is data science bootcamp training program. The defense words, we didn't add keywords in because it's actually after you create the campaign. But we would put in like web designer, web design, personal training because we're using bootcamp. If Google's really taking some liberties to serve up ads to people that are looking for a bootcamp, we would negative out personal training, fitness, stuff like that. The number of negative keywords in a campaign can be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And so, I hate this word, but have you ever heard the term long tail keywords? So, words with like 3, 4, 5 are search queries with 3 or 4 or 5 words in them is long tail. What happens is if you're bidding on data science, Galvanize may be paying $8 for that click. But the more granular they get, the more words, the more long tail keywords they are bidding on, over time, they're actually going to be spending less for a click down here on one of these search queries than the bigger ones. And over time, it's going to lower their overall average cost per click for that total campaign. If you have broad match, phrase match, and exact match keywords, the same data science bootcamp, broad, phrase, exact, and you put it in one ad group, over time, most of the time, the phrase match will be a little bit cheaper than the broad, and the exact match will be a little bit cheaper than the phrase. And so you're getting deeper, more granular, and over time you're spending less for that same click.
Yeah, you said you can kind of get a cheaper rate over time on the exact match or the phrase match.
Yep.
In order to do that, do you need to enter that phrase in quotes in addition to the unquoted version?
Yes, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. It just kind of depends. You can pull the broad match out, completely pause it.
Yeah.
And then put it in as a phrase and put it in as an exact and run it and see what happens. Did you lose all your traffic on that broad match? Or is it coming in as phrase and exact? And then what are you paying for those phrase and exact clicks versus the previous broad? You can leave them all in there. You can pause them. Never delete them because you always want to go back and potentially look. Yes?
So for negatives, like, do you get charged for every negative word that you add to it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. You're just simply telling the interface, I don't want my ads to show if these words or this phrase are in the search query.
Okay.
So yeah, it's crucial. Like that's at my very last slide, that's one of the biggest mistakes is not utilizing negative keywords to tell AdWords when to show the ads and when not to show the ads. It's paramount. Like it's free, it's part of how this thing works.
Would you subtract out the brand name as the search term?
Lumen Insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's an argument around that because most of the time the brand name is going to come up in the organic search. So am I going to take traffic away from my organic click and then pay for that click? Most of the time the click on Lumen Insurance, how many other people are bidding on Lumen Insurance? Not very many. So that's going to be a pretty inexpensive click and you wouldn't want to lose that person by getting, distracted by another shiny object and clicking on something else and getting distracted. It's up to, honestly, the client, and it's up to kind of the data that's telling us after a month or two, your brand is getting clicked on X number of times. Let's look into that a little bit deeper. Like, why isn't your organic ranking coming up? Like, why are they clicking on the ad and not the organic result? This is this is the real ad behind Galvanize. The only thing this does not have in here is the address, but I copied their ad copy because that was way easier. So the title, URL, that is the path that they were using. Learn-more-now. Exactly 25 characters right there because there are character limits on all of these. And then your main description, some call-outs, and what courses do they offer. And then all of this stuff, and I pulled Dave's ad when it had all of his stuff up there, but if I were to do a search for that same I need insurance for my startup, sometimes his ad would have it, sometimes his ad wouldn't. It's not guaranteed that every time the ad comes up, or his ad comes up, that it's going to have it. I know for sure Galvanize has the address and the hours of operation in their AdWords interface. It just didn't come up in this particular ad.
So your comment before about appeal to emotion, the word be respected.
Respected.
Yeah.
Be
That's an appeal to
respected
emotion?
data. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So most common AdWords mistakes. Number one is AdWords will email out a $200 AdWords credit, and it sounds awesome. And you go to AdWords and you open an account and you put in the code with the $200, and then they randomly, I don't know, this is so ironic, they ask you for your credit card. Then they ask you to build a campaign, and then you run your campaign, and it burns through the $200 credit, and then you burn through another $400. So use the $200 credit, of course, but just beware that your credit card is also going to be in there, and potentially, obviously, you're going to continue to serve your ads, so you're going to continue to spend your money. So make sure that the campaign is running properly before you really start spending your money. You can use the $200 ad credit as research for free to determine what's working and what isn't. Second mistake, keywords are too general. Don't bid on insurance. Bid on hardcore terms that are specific to your industry. Implementing all of Google's suggested keywords. Once you have your campaign running, it will suggest keywords for you, and it will use your judgment whether these keywords are applicable or not. Don't just think Google knows all. These are probably going to work for me. I'm going to dump these 300 into this ad group. Use your judgment. Not using negative keywords. Number 4. You got to use it. It's free, and it's just part of how you use this. It's part of blocking and tackling. It's the defense, and you've got to defend against the keywords that just are not going to be relevant. And then no obvious calls to action, no emotion in the ad copy, and then on the landing page, you got to get them to convert on the landing page, whatever you want them to do, whether it's phone calls, download a form, sign up for something, sign up for an email newsletter, whatever it is. And that is it. Do you have any questions at this point? Can we have more wine? Yes is the answer.
What's the best way to make sure that you don't go over certain ad spends, like the AdWords credit? Or
Sure. You set your daily budget, and you know, okay, I've got $200, and I'm going to set my daily budget at $10 a day.
Because you can only set a budget for 30 days, right? You can't set a budget for 7 days or.
You actually set the budget at a day, at the daily budget. It's all set at the daily budget, and then it'll run every day until you tell it not to
But you can't,
run.
if you want to spend $200 in a week,
Okay.
you can't do that unless you manually stop the campaign after a week, right? Like
Yeah, if you want to spend $200 and have it stop, then you set your daily budget times $20 times 10.
You have to manually.
You got to manually stop it.
Can I?
And the other thing that you can do, ad schedule, thanks for reminding me, Moby, you're awesome,
Thank you.
is that let's say you think your customers, let's say you want to drive phone calls, okay? But you only want phone calls when people are in the office 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. You can set up your campaign to only serve ads 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and you know you're driving phone calls and you want a live person. You don't want them dumped into a phone tree. You want somebody to answer, so you can control, and then over time you think, man, all my conversions are coming in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pause Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fire it back up Thursday through Sunday. Keep in mind, let's say you're only running them 5 days a week. Your daily budget is only times those 5 days. Always a daily budget when your ads are running. So then on your monthly budget, it would be times 20 days. Yes?
Speaking of conversions, you talked about the click-through rate and the kind of goals in terms of 2%, 1%, 5%, what that means. For conversion rate, what's your target?
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, yeah. My best scenario right now is I've got a client that has a conversion rate of 11%, which is ridiculous. So good, and it is 100% dependent upon the user experience on their website. It is slamming, and 11% conversion. That's off the charts. Anywhere from 3 to 5% is a decent rule of thumb. If it's above 5%, it's great. 11% is like this company has spent a lot of money to make sure that user experience is freaking seamless.
So below 3% is
worrisome? Yeah, I mean, you'd have to do the ROI on, even if it's 2%. Are you selling something that's $10,000? You know? I mean, it's the ROI. It really determines the ROI on what it all comes back to the profit on what you're selling versus what you're spending to get the traffic to the site.
What do you see in terms Google AdWords for more general awareness? I mean, obviously sales is cool for everyone, but just, like, what do you see as far as that versus specific conversions or target actions or whatever?
General awareness, it's the display campaigns. And really to drive engagement and conversions, it's a search campaign. So the display campaign is still, it's branding, it's general awareness. You can choose the different websites that it goes to. If you're, whatever it is, if you're in sports and health and fitness, you can direct your ads to that. And it's very little, very small amount per click. The quality is going to be lower. They weren't actually looking for your ad. They were reading an article that your ad is kind of sort of about. And you're like, oh wow, that's kind of cool, click. They're not deep into the funnel like I'm looking for this right now search campaign. It's a display campaign and they work big time. So it just depends on if it's awareness, display campaign, and there'll be less per click.
This is more of a general Google kind of search question, but I feel like they've been moving towards this thing where you type in like, how to make brownies, and this little list will pop up.
Pre-populated.
And is that a paid for service, or is that an SEO thing where they're just pulling it up?
That's an SEO thing where it's just pulling it up, but that's also a great way for you to find new keywords that you think may be applicable to your market, to your business.
Yeah.
So if you're keying in 2 or 3 words that are applicable to you and you see near me, depending upon if you're local or not, near me or whatever they're serving up underneath, you can say, oh wait, and it's also a way to say, wait, that one is definitely not applicable to me. I need to pull that and put it in as a negative.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's not, it's just SEO, it's just trying to read your mind.
Yeah, it is.
So, yes.
Do you have any recommendations about the various opportunities that come up and the different kind of ad structures that it offers you, and if they're good choices or not?
The opportunities, you've got to take them, you've got to filter them through logic, and some of the opportunities were don't take all of the suggested keywords, and those are coming up in opportunities, and it's really easy to just click, well go apply, and then it's a disaster because they're serving up keywords that are too general. But a lot of the opportunities are good. I mean, they're relevant, but don't just take their word for it. Run them through. And Steve and I today went through a campaign and they were serving up 100 different keywords as opportunities, and we took maybe 70 of them, but we didn't take all of them.
But what about some of the structured metadata stuff that will affect the listing? Are there any particularly valuable opportunities there that you've seen?
It's kind of catching you, or if they've rolled out a new feature and you haven't implemented it, they'll throw it in as an opportunity. So, I mean, they're constantly throwing out new opportunities, and I look at every single one of them, and if it's relevant, I implement it, and if it's not, I exit out and just to clean it out. But I think that they're 70% of the time it works every time. And on that note, everyone's laughing, and that was my joke. So, that's it. Thank you very much.